Well, welcome to the Tennessee Fish and Wildlife Commission meeting. It's, let's see, today is October 17th, 2013. This is a committee day, and we'll welcome everybody here. We've got some special guests, and I'm kind of looking through the room, and I want to introduce several people, and I want to introduce some special kids that are here for us, and they're going to do a demonstration for us. I'm going to just ask you to stand up when I call your name out. Dayton Coleman, Nick Dobbins. They're both middle school kids, and we got Gracie Brooks, Gracie Buckles, and Abby Chandler. Thank you for coming to be with us today. I'm going to ask Miss Barber, before we go any further, to do a roll call.
Jim Bledsoe. Harold Cannon.
Here.
Bill Cox.
Here.
Jeff Griggs.
Here.
Jeff McMillan.
Here.
Tom Rice. Jim Ripley.
Here.
Julie Schuster.
Here.
Clayton Stout.
Ma'am.
James Stroud.
Here.
Trey Teague.
Here.
Jamie Woodson. Here. David Watson.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we get started, are there any announcements by Director Carter or anyone at this time? Okay. Anybody else? Well, I got kind of ahead of myself because I'm excited about the kids that are here, brighten up our meeting. But I'm excited about being in Northeast Tennessee. When you turn off onto Interstate 81, it becomes God's country, and we appreciate everybody coming up here. I'm glad that Alan brought the good weather from Region 1, so appreciate that. So now it's supposed to be pretty up tomorrow, so maybe y'all can see the leaves in the mountains before you leave. So, but we're glad it's here. We got a nice venue here, and we're excited that everybody's here. Like I said, we have guests. I'm not really seeing any guests other than the kids and the teachers that we brought from the school system, but there is a pad being passed around, so if there are other guests I'm missing, would you please sign that, and anyone's welcome to address the commission. If we do so, let's do it pertaining to the subject matter that we're talking about at that time. So since we'll just move on here, and at this time I'm going to recognize the chairman of the Retention and Recruitment Committee, Commissioner James Stroud.
Let me just turn it right back over to you because I know you have a couple of special things that you want to deal with, but I do want to make one announcement. I didn't have to get up at 4 o'clock to get here. It's not that far. I didn't know that. Somebody told me it was 7 hours. What's that?
Well, it depends on which direction you go. Did you go through Chattanooga?
I went around by Memphis and then came around, but back to you.
Okay, so it's no secret since I was appointed to this commission that I've had a passion to encourage programs within the agency and opportunities for our youth and in our state. And I'm a firm believer, as I know all of you that are here, that the future of our wildlife and our resources is with our youth. And so I guess it was last year, Don Crawford did a presentation concerning the NAS program, the Natural Archery in the Schools, and I was impressed with it, and I felt like that it was my duty as a commissioner to at least come back to my hometown and try to get that started. I met with the school superintendent, and he hooked me up with a young lady named Christy Coleman, and her and Trey Arrington and her took the ball and ran, and so I think it's been very successful. And when I called her last week to see if she'd be willing to come and talk to the rest of the commission and the agency about what it's meant to her school system, she jumped at the chance. So I want to introduce Trey and Christy Coleman. Christy is assistant principal actually at the elementary school where my children went. Trey actually played football with my son, and he's now a PE teacher in the school system. So several of these kids I go to church with, so I'm just tickled to death to have a meeting in Northeast Tennessee where I can show off the kids and what they're doing. So at this time, I'm going to ask Christy if she'll come up and talk to you about what it's meant to Bristol. And Trey. Appreciate it. I'm going to sit down so I can listen.
Thank you, Dr. McMillan. Well,
How many of you are familiar with the NASP? Did you see that with Don Crawford? How many of you have it in a school system in your area? Great. It has been a wonderful, wonderful draw for our students and exciting for them. We have gone through this 1 year, and what I'd like to do is just show you a little bit about NASP in our school. It's a quick video, and to get a full, how many of you have seen it at a school or a demonstration? All right, so you'll get to be in for a little treat today with the video, and then you'll get to see a live demonstration with our students. So, on with the video.
Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
So you can see how that was the third time that those students had shot the arrows. You can, by looking at it, I think of safety, well organized, and very disciplined. NASP has had 0 incidents of injuries in the school, and they say, in fact, it's safer than any other sport other than table tennis. So that's one thing when you share about archery in school. Some people say, you know, are they pointed? Do they have tips? What is it like? But the more risky something is, the more disciplined students are with it. And so it is very safe and it's very organized, and there is a lot of training that goes into making sure that this is done correctly and safely. So what I want to share with you a little bit is what we did in Bristol City Schools to implement the program and how we got on track with that. And Trey is going to share a little bit about the program in the school and what he does as a PE teacher and what he does as the after-school program. So to implement this in the school, and this actually all started with Dr. McMillan, and he did come and he met with Dr. Lilly, our superintendent, and said, hey, look at this program. And Dr. Lilly and Dr. McMillan passed it on to me and said, can you introduce this to your PE teachers and see what they think about it? So we had a meeting, and Don Crawford from TWRA came down and he did a demonstration for our PE teachers. At that time, we were thinking that we could get 1 unit for our school system, and by the time they finished that demonstration, they wanted a unit for middle school, 1 for high school, and 1 for the elementary students to share. So they were very excited about it. So once they decide what they wanted, then we decided how we're going to get it and when the funding's going to come from. And there are lots of ways to get funding for that. TWRA has some grants and some reimbursement grants that we used. NASP has $500 grants typically that they give on the units. We had some private donations, and we used the after-school program since they use the archery equipment as well. And our elementary schools pulled together some of their money that they get every year to make it happen. So there's lots of ways to get the money in and to help support the schools. There's lots of businesses. I know Bristol, we're excited about getting Bass Pro Shop and Cabela's, and they are going to want our kids interested in outdoor recreation and wild things and wild places, and lots of places to support schools and financial institutions or businesses that can donate to that. NASP is in 49 states and in over 5,000 schools. And since 2002, it has grown tremendously. It's the fastest growing shooting sport in history, actually. In the back of your paper, the pamphlet I gave to you is an article about our first year of implementation into the Bristol City Schools. We're a small school district, so it's very easy and controllable to get the equipment out. Our elementary schools, we share one unit, and we rotate it on a month and a half basis. Our middle school has one unit, and our high school has one unit. The next, at the back of this, it talks about implementation steps, and it also talks about what a unit looks like. On here you saw lots of students shooting at one time. Ideally we have 12 students shooting and 6 targets. Most class sizes are under 25, so that way they're just waiting one round before they get up and shoot again. And Trey Arrington will display that for us. But if you're interested in getting NASP in your area schools, when you go back, just like Commissioner McMillan did, it takes one person to say, hey, this is a great thing. Take a look at it. The training is a one-day in-service that we provided for our teachers. When Don Crawford came in, our teachers took a test, a 100-question test, and they had to pass that test in order to be trained to do that, and it's a very uniformed. You go in one school, you go in the school in Murfreesboro, Memphis, you're going to see the exact same format, and that's what makes it safe and disciplined. So I'm going to turn it over to Trey Arrington and let him talk to you a little bit about what the program looks like in the PE setting and the after-school setting.
Good afternoon. At the in the elementary school PE program, I was one who was kind of skeptical whenever they first approached us about it. But after seeing it and participating in it, it's really an awesome program. Everything is done on the whistle command. The students, we spend the first couple classes, they don't hardly even touch an arrow because they're learning all the discipline that goes into of the program as far as what each whistle means, finding their dominant eye, the right amount of pull that they're going to need on their bow that they're going to use. And then we take them in and let them start to practice shooting the bows. And the kids really are into it in the school setting. The students who you might have a discipline problem with are usually the ones you find who are really into the program and really enjoy the shooting and to the discipline that it takes in it. And it's been really an amazing program. I'm glad that we've had the opportunity to do it. In the after-school setting, it's been another just marvelous experience for the kids because it gives them extra time to get to participate in the program. We have 2 or 3 physical education teachers that come to each school for 3 weeks, and they'll come every day, and the kids should participate in the program for an hour each afternoon for 3 weeks at each of the 6 sites that we have our LEAP program. So it's been really a good experience, and it's really meaningful for the students. And I think if you ask the students that are here, they'll tell you the same thing.
What we would like to do is we have set up in is it Ballroom A? No. Well, we'll lead the way. I know where it's at, but I don't know which room it's in. Let me rephrase that. I know where it's at. I know which room it's in. I don't know what it's called. But our students will demonstrate and we'll go through the steps, and at the end, we'll have a question and answer session you can ask the students a question, or you can ask us a question after we finish the demonstration, okay? So students, if you will stand up, and I will let you get a head start. Dayton, don't forget the backpack. And I'll give you a head start at the door, and we will follow them to the convention center part. All right. Everybody else, let's go see some shooting of arrows.